at the time, it was $20 extra a month. But that was literally the greatest deal on the planet.
It's so like important because it's been pivotal to our success in our business. Hey guys, welcome back to Sky's the Limit Podcast. We're your hosts, Mike and Ryan. Today, we're going to talk to you about off-market deal finding. These are the subscriptions, the tools, the resources that we specifically use to scale to a $10 million portfolio. Majority of what we buy is off-market, direct to owner, and there's specific resources, strategies, tactics that we use that we're going to talk about today that I think could help you scale to a portfolio of your size. And if you're just getting started in investing, this applies to you. If you're looking to grow your portfolio, this also applies to you. So very excited to get going. And without further ado, what's up, Ryan?
Yeah, all is good. All is good. I'm excited about this one because one, it's sort of like my forte. It's sort of what I do here. And if anybody's wondering, I do kind of mostly like behind the scenes marketing, systems, keeping everything well oiled.
Right.
So this is sort of what I do. So I'm really excited to talk about it. But all is good with you?
Yeah, went to a real estate networking event last night. Met a lot of good people. Talked to a couple of people about syndications. I'm still not on board, and I do want to devote a whole episode to syndications because I think there's a lot of information that people know or don't know that want to know. So, but yeah, talked a lot about syndications, talked about off-market deal finding. How do you do it? So I was like, stay tuned. We're going to do an episode on it. I think there's a lot of people who want to get involved in wholesaling, and wholesaling really is off-market deal finding. It's not going through conventional real estate agents or, the MLS. It's who you know, not what you know. And, I think at least we do a very good job of finding off-market properties. I'd say the bulk of our portfolio is off-market. What we found off-market, we've acquired it off-market, a few on-market deals, but especially right now in this market, I mean, nothing really makes sense in Connecticut at least. So I think it's really, really, really important for those who are looking to just start in real estate investing or just looking to scale their portfolio. Most deals, the numbers work better when they're off market because there's no brokers involved, no fees, so you typically get a better purchase price. I'll give you a real life example about the 4-unit in Manchester we're working on now. Mm-hmm. So why don't we get into it? Why don't you talk about why we got started in finding off market deals? And what that turned into. Yeah.
I mean, we're in 2023 now. The market right now is geared towards sellers. This is a seller's market, right? They kind of have the power.
Yep.
They control the prices. And like you said, a lot of the stuff doesn't make sense. I do want to add a caveat though. I think there is value, and this really could annoy your particular real estate agent, but I think there's value in making an offer to a seller that makes sense for you. For example, real quick, our Fairfield property that Tom, our wholesaler, found, who was on a previous episode, that was on market, and we would have never had that and never had the success that we had with it if he didn't go out and just make an offer that made sense to him.
On market property.
Right?
Yeah.
Because just because someone's asking for a ton of money online doesn't mean they won't take less.
Right.
It's just that primarily finding an off-market deal is going to be better for you.
Yeah, I'd probably say 7 out of 10 times you find something off-market, direct to seller, not on the MLS or not listed anywhere, you're going to get a better deal than if it was listed on the market because they're going to incur so many more costs by listing it. So they need to make up for that.
True.
When you're buying it off-market, they don't incur those costs, i.e. you get it cheaper.
Yeah. So one of the biggest reasons to go off-market, other than to hopefully secure a better purchase price, right, is because if you're off market, you're not normally competing with a ton of people. A seller puts a market on the MLS to attract a very broad audience. So you're going to have a lot of competition. When you're off market, right? And I find you, if I found you and you're selling a property and I get to you first, it's just you and I.
Right.
We don't have 50 other people competing for the same deal. And that's huge because you don't have 50 other offers that could
1,000%.
conflict with mine.
So how do you find me?
Right.
That's what I want to get
that's what
into.
we're
How do
getting
you
into.
find me?
That's
So
what we're going to get into.
explain to the listeners what we've used, and I will as well, but like explain the first tactic we used or that we found success in, because we tried a lot of different things, but the first kind of success story utilizing postcards. It was really postcards that it started it.
There's a multitude of things you can do. Let's start with postcards because we think that is the best avenue. And there's people that would disagree with us all day, but it's the best avenue. It's honestly probably the most expensive, but you get what you pay for.
The best return on investment. Let's say out of every 1,000 postcards we've sent out, we would probably get callbacks. Probably out of 1,000, we probably get 20 callbacks or so. Out of the 20 callbacks, we're probably buying maybe 3 of those properties.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It's pretty good.
So
it's a good return.
Honestly, that's a very good return. How much does each postcard cost? About 53 cents. And what platform did we utilize?
Deal Machine.
Deal Machine. So
Deal Machine is awesome. They have a great platform, good sort of CRM in there. If anyone's interested in Deal Machine, use code SKYTREE and you will get preferred pricing and a couple dollars towards your first campaign.
Yeah, and that link will be in the show notes below.
Yeah.
But Deal Machine has definitely been a game changer for us to help grow our portfolio. You can buy lists from there. Lists are a thing, you buy a list. You don't have to use Deal Machine, but it's like a one-stop shop. They send out the postcard, so you don't have to deal with any mailing or stampage or any of that. You pay for it. It's about 53 cents a postcard. And what I thought was cool, which you found out, I don't know if this was more expensive or not, but you could actually have a picture. They'll pull like a Google image of that person's house, right?
Yeah. So
is that extra?
At the time, it was $20 extra a month.
A month, but
that was
not
literally
per
the
house.
greatest deal on the planet.
Not per house, just a month.
No, $20 a month to have the Google image of the person's property on your marketing postcard.
But how many callbacks do we get? Because
a lot.
Some people
All
pissed
the
off.
callbacks.
I'll be candid. Like some people were like,
God.
"How the hell did you get a picture of my house?" And like, "Oh."
Were you were driving by my house and you took a picture? Like, you can't be doing. No, look, it was a Google image. It was fine.
Yeah.
But people did think that. So Deal Machine has completely revamped their pricing. So let me just go through this and don't quote me on this because I'm just going from memory. So they just changed some stuff. So we're in the pro plan. We pay like $1,500 a year. That list pulling that you mentioned is all included. You don't pay extra to pull a list. And the best thing about it is normally you would have to skip trace. And we can get into what skip tracing is. I'll just do it right now. Skip tracing is when you take a property address, 123 Main Street, you put it into a skip tracer. It's going to shoot out the owner, name, phone number, email address. Sometimes you won't have phone number, won't have email, or a combination thereof, but that's what skip tracing is. You find out who the owner is and how to contact them. That's all included. That is all included.
In the $1,500 yearly fee. So you could skip trace as many addresses as you want.
There's a limit on the number of properties you can pull. Right now we're in the 10,000 a month plan. So we can pull 10,000 properties and get 10,000 owners to call, to contact in a month. They have another plan that's more, but right now we're in that one. So that's all included. Like skip tracing is normally 10 to 15 cents a lead.
Right.
That's a big number when you're talking about 10,000, 20,000 leads. Right. It adds up. And you're not always guaranteed to get the number, especially if it's like owned in an LLC. You might not get the person's phone number or their name.
Right.
But anyways, so like when you're pulling a list, you're with Deal Machine at least, you are getting all that information. So again, postcards has been the best thing for us, especially with Deal Machine. They have the picture on the card, and that has been instrumental. Like we have literally gotten people like, the only reason I'm talking to you right now is because your postcard was honestly really good. Like it was personalized. You got a picture of my property. I can appreciate that. Like that's why I'm calling you.
Right.
We got a lot of compliments. Like it matters. Like we have both gotten on our properties like the yellow letter, and there's nothing wrong with that. And it doesn't have a picture, right? It's just a yellow letter postcard with text. It's just not as attractive. It doesn't like when you're opening your mailbox and you have your AT&T bill and whatever else, and you say, whoa, there's my property there. Like it makes you look.
I'll never forget using this exact process, pulling a list from Deal Machine, sending the postcard out, paying 53 cents for the postcard, having the picture of the property was 1480 Corbin Ave in New Britain. That was a postcard property. 5 unit. For example, this on the market at the time, this thing would probably sell for $450,000 to $500,000. We sent the postcard out. We got it direct. The owner called back, and he called back because he liked our marketing. And he physically got the card, had the number, called, answered, followed up, went to the property, showed that we're real people, we're normal, we own other properties. We purchased that for $310,000. I'll never forget it. $310,000.
Owner finance.
Owner finance. Would we do like 10% down?
10% down.
Home run. And it cost us 53 cents for that particular one. Yes, did we spend thousands of other dollars on other postcards that went nowhere? Absolutely. But even if we spent $10,000 for all those postcards that 1 month, we got one home run of a deal. It's a no-brainer.
Pays for itself.
Pays for itself and then some.
That literally paid for our marketing.
And then
for
what
years.
did we sell that property for last year?
$600,000.
Yeah.
So we doubled it basically almost.
Yeah.
And we did a cash out refi.
Also wish we didn't sell that property. It's all right.
Low key,
Different
yes.
story.
Yeah.
But I think the takeaway here is Deal Machine has been instrumental for us to kind of like I said, the one-stop shop, to pull lists, to send out the mailers. We also tried handwritten cards at one point. We weren't handwriting them.
That was before Deal Machine.
That was before Deal Machine.
We were handwriting.
Do you know the name? Remember the name of the company?
I was handwriting stuff
You
myself.
were handwriting them?
I was handwriting it.
Bullshit.
Everything. I swear to God.
No way.
I was handwriting it myself. Yep.
All right.
Thank
you.
I said on Tom's episode, the callback ratio was like 80%. 10 letters, like 8 out of 10.
There's got to be a bunch of companies that do that though. But
they do.
You could try handwritten. I mean, you could try hiring a company to do handwritten letters for you. I get them in the mail all the time.
Yeah.
So,
but like a service like Deal Machine is good because you can you still need a list to mail to.
Right.
Like even if, like whatever scheme you're doing, like you need to start with a list.
Start with the list, and then you can send the postcard out. And then, so for us, it was kind of, the next step was the call center, because now you have 10,000 names and numbers to call on. It's like, I'm sure a lot of people listening work full time. They don't have time to do that. And you're paying all this money, you're devoting all this time. It's like, okay, now you need to call on these, some follow up.
Yes.
In addition to a postcard.
Right. So yes, that's a really good point. So on the postcard, let me break down how it looks and it connects to the call center thing. So on the postcard, what we had was obviously what we were talking about, like a picture of the property, right? That's like the call out feature, right? Like we had like, is this your property at 123 Main Street? Picture. Boom. That's the call. You're calling out the owner, right? And then we added value on the back side of the card. We can make this so easy. We can buy in cash. We're not going to disturb your tenants, right? Like that's the value that we can add.
Yep.
Right. And then the call to action was like, give us a call. We'll give you this cash offer. And that's where we had our call center number.
Right.
So the call center was 24/7, 365, would accept these calls from whoever got our postcard that wanted to call us. And what they would do was we created a script for them, and they would just collect information. They were not making offers.
Right.
In a perfect world, we would have knockout salespeople answering that and closing deals on the spot. It just wasn't in the cards for us, and that's like big scale.
It's what we're trying to work on now.
Exactly. So they were just collecting information. That information was feeding into our Monday.com CRM, and from there, our VA was pushing that information out to whatever wholesaler was going to be calling on that information.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a no-brainer. And it worked out well. We bought, like I said, over $10 million of real estate using this exact method.
Yeah. So another thing that's really important, there's so many avenues. I'm like really passionate about this. Right now, something cool that we're doing, when we're pulling lists in Deal Machine, right? You ever heard of Zapier?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Zapier effectively zaps information from one place to another. So when we pull information, I am asking Zapier, Zapier.com, to take particular pieces of information that we pull and create a draft email in my inbox. Okay?
Okay.
What we then do is we take that draft email and we have our VA make sure that we have the correct email addresses for this message to go to. She then fills in the email addresses and she sends the email. We did that. The first time we did that, our guy got a property under contract in New Hampshire.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's amazing. Like, I mean, the first time is sort of like maybe a coincidence, but it works.
Yeah. So I think Zapier is, just for all the listeners, Zapier is another resource and tool we utilize.
Yep.
Again, you utilize, and I'm kind of just hearing about it now.
Yeah,
honestly.
I mean,
but it's your domain. That's
Right.
like your value add
Right.
to
Right.
our business.
I think there's a lot of value in automating as many things as you can.
Yeah.
There really is.
How do you feel about Monday?
Love Monday.
So Monday we use for task management, and
It's a CRM.
yeah,
We've
it's not like a Salesforce or sales page CRM.
you have to build it out.
You got to build it out. But I mean, I think it's great. I mean, everyone's on it. All the wholesalers we work with, our VAs. So Monday is another, and we can. Do we have an affiliate link to Monday? I don't know.
We do. We do have affiliate
Yeah.
link to Monday.
Monday's
Yeah.
good. You get it discounted through a code.
If we have a code, we'll link it.
Link the
Link it in
code.
the show notes.
Yeah.
I mean, the best thing about it is like keeping all the conversation there. Like
Right.
you and I email each other, we text each other, we call each other, and it's like, wait, what did we say? Like if it's all in Monday, all in the CRM, you can reference those notes.
Right.
Because there's times where it's like, Mr. Seller says, you know what? Call me back in a year. Like if we texted each other that, then it's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone. So like if it's in the Monday updates, if it's in the notes, we can reference that.
Right.
We can set up an automation to automatically send the email. Like there's so many things you can do. You have to be set up.
So Monday for CRM, Zapier for
Automations.
Deal Machine for postcards and lists. What was the name of the company that we used to receive those?
Answer Connect.
Answer Connect was the name of the company we used, and we still use to receive those inbound calls from the leads from the postcards. Also, so that's another name. Another golden nugget is REVA Global. REVA Global has been instrumental. Also, can link the affiliate link down below, or link the affiliate link down below to get discount codes for anyone who wants to use it. REVA Global is it's basically a company that trains virtual assistants in real estate already. So I know one of the biggest pain points for a lot of people I talk to that are like building their businesses. VAs are great, obviously cheaper labor, but you have to spend the time to train them. What's great about REVA Global is they already train them specifically in real estate. So if you're listening to this and you're not interested in real estate, one, I don't know why you're listening. I'm just kidding.
Sure.
But it's real estate trained. So I'm sure there's other companies out there that train VAs in non-real estate related things, but REVA Global has been instrumental. And I keep using that word, but it's so like important because it's been pivotal to our success in our business. REVA Global and Judith.
Shout out to Judith. She listens to this, so we got to shout her out.
Judith,
Yeah.
you were amazing.
She's
if you're
amazing.
listening, thank you so much. But they've been great to work with, and I know you're really spearheading that as well. So thank you.
Yeah, no. REVA, Real Estate Virtual Assistants, REVA. Yeah, they're really good. I mean, having employees is great, but like training them is a lot. It's a lot of work. So if they are coming with real estate knowledge, to the table, like that's just less that you have to train.
Right. So
Yeah, it's huge. It's
yeah.
huge.
So we got lists, we got Deal Machine, we got the postcards.
So
what else do you want to touch upon?
Yeah. So the postcards were driving inbound calls to Answer Connect, like we just mentioned, right? Right now, we're also using a company called Easy Button Leads for outbound calls.
That's right.
That was a mistake. We should have done that earlier.
Should have done it.
Kicking myself a little bit.
Okay.
Inbound calls are the best, I think, because, right, like these are people that are
Interest.
calling you.
Right.
But I think outbound is important to have as well. So basically what this company does is that they pull lists based on criteria. Our main criteria are out-of-state owners, absentee owners, which means absentee generally, for me at least, means like they don't live in the property, but they could be in state. Out-of-state absentee is obviously they don't live at the property and they're out of state.
Right.
They've owned the property for a long time. I like to use 10, 15, 20 years, right? Like depending on how big the list is, I'll break it down. Like if they've owned it for 20 years and the list is too small, I'll reset it to 15 or 10 to make the list a little bit larger, because that's important, right? Like I don't want somebody that bought the property last year because they probably paid too much for it, right? And they're super excited about their new property. They don't want to sell. But if you owned a property for 20 years, you're more likely to sell.
So a great example is the 4-unit in Manchester, Connecticut that I went and looked at the other day. I met the owner, and he doesn't live at the property, and he's owned it for 30 years. He's tired. He was lugging down a huge refrigerator, went like 3 stories, lugging down a huge refrigerator. And I'm like, do you need a hand? Everything is like, no, I've been doing this for 30 years. And I'm like, okay, so he's a tired landlord. He doesn't live there. You know, the 1 unit needs complete disrepair, needs a full renovation. Like, he's tired. That is a perfect guy who, yes, he could hire a real estate agent and sell on market, but we could save him all the headache, and it's a great lead for us, and we could pay all cash because, honestly, I don't even know if this would pass traditional financing in the condition it's in. So he almost needs someone to come in cash, no inspections, easy closing, but there's a price to pay for that. He's not going to get top market dollar, but we're also not going to pay crazy money for it. So that is like a great example of one of the leads using the resources we mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's crucial to like really narrow down your list, narrow down your criteria.
Criteria, yeah.
Right. So like, again, an absentee owner, right? Like primarily the people that we're targeting are people that don't live with their properties. We're looking for like, investment properties, right? Like these people live somewhere else and they have a rental property that they want to sell. That was our target. Again, additionally, I think it's important to target people that have owned it for a long time. And I'm a little bit iffy about this one because I don't always trust the data. I think if you have good quality data, pulling people with high equity is good. Meaning if your property is worth $200,000 and your data shows that they owe $50,000 in a mortgage, they have like 75% equity. That's good. Right. Like that could be an owner finance opportunity. Exactly. That's huge.
Yeah. Or a sub 2 deal or a lot more creativity.
I think whatever program you use, throw your own property in there. Like I did this. I threw my property in there and it's like, Ryan owes X on his mortgage. And I was like, wow, that's actually accurate. Yeah. Like that's
all public. I mean, it's all public information.
It is. It's just like some of the data gets mishmash. So test it if you can. But I think high equity is good too because we love seller finance.
Yep.
And to be able to target those people is huge.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more.
So this company, again, Easy Button Leads, we give them the criteria, they pull the lists, and then they make the calls. So right now we pay like $1,350 a month. That employs one person on their team to make roughly like 15,000 calls. And they call these people throughout the month.
And how long does it take to make 15,000 calls?
They claim it takes like a month to go through that list and make sure that they've called everybody and everything. Honestly, we get like Monday through Friday, we get like, I don't know, 1, 2, could be 3 leads a day. I've seen like 7 leads a day, and I've seen no leads a day, but generally it's like 1 to 3 leads a day.
So break down the process. So we have Easy Button Leads. They're pulling the lists with the criteria that we're giving them.
Correct.
This one person is making 15,000 calls a month. God bless them.
Yeah.
And then we basically have like some sort of criteria. Like they're basically giving what qualifies a lead. I'll ask that.
Okay.
How do they know if it's a lead to send us or not?
Believe it or not, before this lead and all of its information gets to us, the managers of these callers listen to the call. So like they will listen, like they're not going to send us somebody that's like, yeah, I don't know, $10 million. Like they're not going to send us that lead if it's like a $200,000 property. They do screen it. They screen it for like the seller's tone of voice, like all of these criteria, they do screen it.
Right.
So they do reference like Zillow, and again, like I don't expect them to know they're not going to know our market. They're not going to know every market on the planet. So they reference Zillow, and they'll often say like, oh, this person wants less than the Zillow's estimate, or they want
slightly more.
So like they basically monitor it for like, is this guy just like throwing out some random number just to get you off the phone? Or is this person potentially a lead?
Right.
And they will qualify it as like cold, warm, or hot.
Right.
So if it's hot, it's like, it's a tired landlord. This guy sounds like hell, like he wants out, that kind of thing. If it's cold, it's like, I don't know, for the right price, maybe I'd sell it. That's might be a cold one. So but, like they do monitor for that.
Yeah. So then once they verify the lead, based on like that criteria, it'll then go to Monday, our CRM. Mm-hmm. And at that point, you and I will take a look at it. And depending on how it comes in, whether it's, and we know the market obviously very well here. So, 3-unit in Collinsville, Connecticut just came in, which is a very nice town. Came in at $300,000, which is pretty close to market rate, but we know a lot of people who'd be willing to buy that. So from our standpoint, we can then make an educated decision. Like we will follow up, or someone on our team here locally will follow up and kind of double qualify that lead, for lack of a better word, and determine, are we going to buy it ourselves? Are we going to wholesale it? Maybe it's something that we don't want. Is it a potential listing that myself or another agent on our team can list? Or majority of them are, we call it bring a buyer, which is they would like to sell, but for whatever reason, they don't want to list. Maybe their tenants, they don't want their tenants to know. They want to pay a full 5-6% agent commission. No problem at all. We have a huge database of motivated buyers. And again, this is an off-market lead. So when we do our blast out to our buyer list, it's, hey, I got this 3-family in Collinsville off market for $300,000. This is probably a $340,000, $350,000 market rated property. Is it something you're interested? Sure enough, yes, it is. Great. We work out some sort of consulting agreement with the seller, and he'll compensate us that way. So it's really what's beautiful, I think, about our models. Like we have multiple buckets. It's not just like, oh, we don't want to buy it ourselves, don't worry about it. No, maybe someone else does. Maybe we can make a couple bucks that way. So
I think that's huge for us.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, because if there's nothing wrong with just being a wholesaler, but like we wholesale, we can bring you a buyer, we can list it on the market. We might buy it, we might flip it, we might rent it.
I would love to know the comments from people on this. We go back and forth on this all the time. It's like, how can you be really good at something when you're doing a million different things? So we're doing the podcast. We're wholesaling. I'm an agent. You're a lender. We're doing the consulting agreement, bringing a buyer. We flip. It's like you're buy and hold investors. It's like I don't know. It's I go back and forth.
We're calling out the listeners. I want to know. I'm with you. We talk about this all the time. Drop it in the comments. Are you of the mindset where you should be hyper focused on one thing, or do you focus on related things, but there might be 3, 4, or 5 of them?
100 miles deep or 100 miles wide? What do you do?
Right.
It's a good one.
A lot of people say you should be hyper focused on one thing. That's sort of what I've been hearing, but I don't know. I get bored.
I like dabbling in a bunch of stuff.
I know.
I do.
Hey, it's worked for us, but in an alternate universe, like, I don't know, like,
I guess you could argue we are all in real estate.
Exactly. It's not like we're opening a dry cleaners and we're,
although you almost did want to buy a laundromat, which I guess is kind of related. Like I would buy self-storage. Yeah, I would. And that's like a different animal in itself.
Yeah.
But it's all real estate related. Am I going to go pick up a hammer and start trying to build a house? Hell no. Like, right. I don't know the first thing about that.
Right.
Although the sink we did fix the other day is still working.
That was, hey, there's something to be said about that. Yeah. We saved what, $150? Okay.
Yeah, good. So, anyways.
On the outbound call center sort of thing we're on, another thing I really want to point out, Mojo Dialer. We've used that a lot in the past. So Easy Button Leads is going to be a service that does everything for you. They make the outbound calls, they do it for you. What we've done with Mojo Dialer, that's a power dialer. You can have a single dialer or a triple line dialer with them. And there may be other things. But a single dialer is basically like you upload a list of numbers, right? Could you imagine like calling a list of numbers that's 10,000 deep on your cell phone? 866, like that just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right. So when you upload a list into a service like Mojo Dialer, it's going to automatically call these numbers, right? On the single line power dialer, it's going to automatically call these numbers. First number doesn't answer, rolls to the next, rolls to the next, rolls to the next. You're not sitting there typing in individual digits, right? The triple line, which is super cool, calls 3 numbers at one time, right? First one that answers drops the other 2, and you talk to this person. Hang up, dials another 3, dials another 3, dials another 3. Someone picks up, drops everyone else. So that's how you can really get through a lot of calls. And that's what we had our VA doing, is calling these people. And again, it's all generated from the same list. Like we're just expanding on this same list that we pulled originally from Deal Machine, and we're doing all these things with it. So you can do a lot of things with just one list. You can email, you can call, you can do postcards.
Yeah.
So
that's a no-brainer. No, I think that's awesome. I think the takeaway for all the listeners and myself as well, is there's a lot of different products and subscriptions we use. Mojo Dialer, like you just explained, Deal Machine, REVA Global, Easy Button Leads, Monday, and I probably missed a couple others, but we're gonna link all those in the show notes below. We'll have specific codes that we partner with a couple people. If you want to check it out, you get a discount. But it's what we've used and we've had success with. We tried a lot of other companies, some great, some not so good. For us, this works, and we've been able to really scale our portfolio to where it is today, which I'm pretty proud of.
Yeah. Should we give some bonuses?
Okay.
You want to give bonuses, sir?
Sure, why not?
All right. I have 3 bonuses.
Okay.
3 bonuses. So the first one I'm going to qualify real quick, because have you heard of the A2P law?
No.
Okay, so it's application to person. So it governs like text blasts, basically any calls or texts or communications of that nature that you don't want, that are like spam, right? Like, so basically the whole thing is like, you need to get permission from these people to contact them.
Got it.
So all of this is going to be premised on the fact that like you have gotten this permission. Okay. But something that we've used in the past is mass texting and ringless voicemail.
Right.
So again, on the same list with these same phone numbers, you can upload, assuming that you've gotten these permissions, and you can blast thousands of people at the same time and say, hey, do you want to sell your property in Hartford, Connecticut? It's important to be a little specific. You don't want to be like, hey, do you want to sell your property? Like, they could be anywhere. Like you want to have a little personalization there. So that's something we've done with texting. Ringless voicemail, again, same list, will drop a voicemail in your phone without your phone ever ringing.
Got it.
So
I've gotten those. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, you can say, hey, just wondering if you're interested in selling your property in New Britain. I'm a local investor. If you're interested, give me a call at 860-555, whatever.
And that's the company's ringless voicemail.
Well, that is the product is ringless voicemail. We use Sly Broadcast.
That's what I thought. Sly Broadcast. Yeah.
Sly Broadcast. Sly Broadcast does the ringless voicemail. Sly Text does the texting.
Yeah.
But that's bonus number 1.
That's like super cheap. You can do mass
that's a good point.
distribution there.
Texting is a penny, at least with that service, and ringless voicemail is 4 cents.
Yeah. Compared to 53 cents for a postcard. Big difference.
Huge difference at
But
scale.
the ROI we found is in the postcards.
Correct.
More expensive, but higher quality leads.
Yep.
And conversions.
Yep. Next bonus is, this is actually hilarious that we did this.
What?
So we used to, we don't do this anymore, but we did get a little bit of traction with this, with, again, the same lists. We actually hand wrote a message. Hi, I'm a local investor in the area. Just wondering if you're interested in selling your rental property. We'd be willing to give you a cash offer for it. Notice how I didn't say anything that was specific enough where I'd have to change the message for each person.
Right.
We then photocopied 1,000 of those messages, printed off address stamps.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah,
right?
You're right.
Printed off address stamps. So you can affix the address stamp to the envelope. You're not handwriting everyone's address. You stamp it, include that message, right, that you just photocopied. That in and of itself is good. What we were doing to go the extra mile is, I believe it was Amazon, I think.
Checks.
We ordered checks, and we're not trying to be deceitful.
No,
okay?
you can clearly tell it's a fake check.
And how many times have you opened your
Oh,
mail?
I get it from furniture companies all the time.
Yeah, and you get like that little window.
Or a
and
dollar, fake
and
dollar
it's like,
bill,
it looks like a check. We were doing that as well.
Yeah.
And like, we had void on it. This is not we had all those things. But like, whatever we would offer for that property based on a certain metric, we would include like 123 Main Street, a check for $300,000 because we were offering like $100,000 a unit. Let's
Right.
say.
Yes. You have to know your market, and you have
Right.
to know, okay, a good deal here is at $60,000 a door. So we're only going to send these to 3-family homes. We're not sending them to 4 or 5s or 2s. More importantly, 3-family homes is $60,000 a door. So blanket offer at $180,000.
Right.
Only marketing the 3-family homes in this particular method. And if we got a call back, we already knew it was a good deal.
Right.
We didn't even have to qualify it.
And better yet, it's not binding, right? It's
No.
not binding. If they call and said, hey, yeah, I'll take your offer. And then you go there and it's like, this property is hell. You can, hey, look, like we need it for less. So it's not binding. Like it's just marketing.
Yeah.
Okay. That was very cool. Third bonus, and this is something that we're going to be signing up for this week, is a company, and it's actually sort of a guy, and we can link the name in the show notes, but he utilizes Facebook ads, and he sort of has, maybe proprietary isn't the word, but he has a proprietary system that he employs in whatever market his clients are in to do Facebook ads and to attract people that are in distress. And I saw his ad, right? It's a woman walking down a street that looks like she's in distress, and it's like, I can't afford my property, and like I need help, and I need someone to buy it for cash quick. And through his systems, he has employed that ad or ones like it in someone's market, and has drawn people in to give him their information, and he then takes that information and calls them and says, okay, great, I can offer you X on your property. So he is using Facebook ads to draw those sort of people in.
Interesting.
So
yeah.
that's sort of something that we could do on our own, right?
And you could put ad money to those
yeah,
as well.
Yeah. And so he's gonna want ad money from us, right? So like he has the ads done, he has his whole system built out, he has a CRM, he needs money behind it for the ad spend, and he's actually gonna do this all for free.
He probably got you captivated through an ad.
Yeah, I know, right? So what's cool about
genius.
this is like, right, his offer to us was like, you do the ad spend, I'll do everything. I take 10% of the deal. That's not bad.
I think that's good. And it's different than a lot of other companies that will do this because you're not giving him 10% unless it closes.
Correct.
So yeah, take the ad money. I got to spend that anyways. But as far as the 10% cut or the VIG, I don't owe you anything until it closes.
Right.
Hey, but it wouldn't have closed unless I utilized you. So thank you.
Right.
But
So
also, it's a win-win.
It's a partnership. It's a partnership.
When are you doing that?
He's blowing up my phone.
All
We need to sign up like today. Like, not gonna lie.
Good.
So,
I'll give it a shot. Is there like a 3-month contract or anything?
No contract. There isn't. There is like a $3,000 upfront fee for him to get all the systems started, but it's credited towards the first deal.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
he gets a couple bucks up front to get the whole thing rolling,
that's fair.
but nothing going forward. But besides our ad spend.
Really good. Damn. I didn't even know that was going on.
Yeah. So there's so many different avenues.
Yeah.
There's so many different avenues.
That's really good.
Yeah.
But bottom line, thank you everyone for listening. We want to keep it, short and sweet. So hopefully you got some value. If you did get value, be sure to comment, like, subscribe. We're on YouTube, TikTok, our website, SKYTREE Investments /podcasts.
Yep.
I left out the www. Our producers would love that. We use Mojo Dialer, Deal Machine, REVA Global, Easy Button Leads, Monday, hopefully Facebook ads soon, slide broadcast, slide text.
Yep.
So a lot of good subscriptions out there that really help us kind of get from A to B and find these off-market deals and scale your portfolio or get better deals out there. And
Absolutely.
so really appreciate everyone listening. And just remember, sky's the limit. Dive deep and invest in how you want to live. See you next time.